What's going on, Jets fans? It's your boy DT back with another training camp recap video. Practice number 11 in the books for the Jets. Suffered a lot of injuries. Aaron Glenn spoke after practice and said there was 5 notable injuries. I will run through them quickly. Mason Taylor, starting tight end, has a high ankle sprain. He will be out this week. This was his second missed day of practice. He was out yesterday as well. Backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor with a knee injury. This was his second day missed as well. They are still evaluating, according to Aaron Glenn, but he said that he doesn't see this being a long-term injury for Tyrod Taylor. So we should see him back out here shortly. Edge Will McDonald had back spasms in indo drills, which I assume is individual drills. So he missed a majority of the practice today with back spasms. Defensive interior Byron Cowart, he was also carted off in the front seat of the cart. Now that we have to specify after the field scare, he rode off in the front seat. It was another injury that happened in individual drills. He has an ankle, and then the final injury is cornerback Azariah Thomas, the rookie. He had a shoulder injury trying to break up a pass, according to AG. So he was out as well. Positive injury news, however, safety Malachi Moore, who had the oblique strain last week, he is back at practice. Robbie Sabo even said he was notable in a tweet that he put out. So at least Malachi Moore is back at practice, but 5 new injuries of note for the Jets. Couple notes from today's practice as well. When they did the tackling drill, Malachi Corley fumbled against Quincy Williams. This was a tweet from Connor Hughes, I believe. So not a great look for Corley, who's already got everything stacked up against him in order to make this roster. Really thought he was going to be able to turn it around, especially when the pads came on. Just does not seem to be the case for Corley, and a bad fumble today. The first team offensive line looked good in their one-on-one pass rush drills. It looked like it was mostly against the second team defensive line, but obviously with Will McDonald out, Jermaine Johnson nursing an injury, your best edge rusher on the depth chart is Michael Clemens. So take that with a grain of salt, but the offensive line has been consistently looking good the past couple days. Now, the unfortunate part, and you see it in the title, the offensive struggles continue. Justin Fields today, he was noted to be 9 of 16 passing in team drills with 2 interceptions. The first one was a floater down the left sideline that Cisco was able to get underneath, which was just a bad read and against the good coverage by the defense. And then the second interception was a deflection on a pass that was a little high for Jeremy Ruckert, but definitely a catchable pass. So 2 interceptions for Fields. Cisco got the first one. Brandon Stevens got the second one. It also was noted that Fields would have taken 3 sacks, which is not a great look. And he also had 1 or 2 drops, the one I just mentioned with Ruckert, and then he had a big drop by Allen Lazard over the middle. So 9 of 16 is better on the stat sheet than his previous 2 days, which were 2 of 10 and 4 of 16 or whatever the numbers were the past 2 days. It was just not looking good. But in terms of, what it looked like play in and play out, Robbie Sabo and Rich Cimini had tweets saying that the indecisiveness was on display for Justin Fields. Everything was just coming at him a little too fast, whether he's over-reading and he's just getting through his reads too quickly or he's not getting through his reads quickly enough. It just seemed like something was off with Fields today in terms of trying to read the progressions of each play. So not a great look for Fields there. He did go 1 for 4 with an interception in 7-on-7 drills. The interception came by Tony Adams on a tight window throw to Josh Reynolds. The team actually put out a video of this rep and said the defense was sticky today. It looked like Sauce Gardner had really tight coverage on Josh Reynolds on a, in-breaking route, we'll call it, going from Justin Fields right to left. Looked like Sauce got a hand in there to tip it up, and Tony Adams came down with the interception. So Fields on the day, 9 of 16 in team period, 1 for 4 in 7-on-7s. Not a good day whatsoever. I will call out one standout today. I thought Brady Cook, by all accounts and reports, did really well today. Robbie Sabo even saying he had an unreal dime for about 20 yards. Said it was just an absolutely unreal quarterback play. So I like the fact that Brady Cook went from, kind of a write-off to potentially could stick on as the practice squad quarterback and could be even elevated to the emergency quarterback in certain situations. So I like that he's coming along. It seemed like Martinez had the edge as far as quarterback 3 in the competition, if there even was one. But I'm glad to see Brady Cook is at least not going down without a fight. Couple notes from Aaron Glenn's press conference. He was asked if Mason Taylor missing time is going to be a big setback for him because he's a rookie. And AG immediately said, no, he has the pedigree of an NFL player because of his dad. I think he's just going to be fine. He referenced this time period of training camp, the dog days. And when asked about that, he said that he has a protocol for each practice. And just because it's a game week, he's not going to differentiate from his plan. He has things each and every practice that he and the coaching staff set out to achieve to try to, progress this team moving forward. So I love the fact that he's got his train on the track that he wants it on. He's not going to, he's not going to change up for anybody or do something different just because there's a preseason game on Saturday. So I love the fact that AG is really sticking to his guns here in what he called the dog days of training camp. He was asked about his concern about the passing offense the last 3 days. Obviously, I noted Justin Fields' stats. I think collectively it's like 15 of 42 over the last 3 days are the stats on Fields, so just not good. And when asked if he was concerned, AG said that no, there's no concern. It's still early. We're a long way to week 1. He said, I'm not concerned about this passing offense entering this preseason game against the Packers. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said that his goal is what are they going to be ready to do in week 1 of the regular season. So he has a longer term goal for this month for the passing offense than I think, fans and maybe even some beat reporters who are living in the day-to-day. He was asked about the move the ball periods and just his philosophy on having so many of those each practice. I loved his answer here. He said he believes in playing true football, and it also helps his coordinators get ready to make a call. He said, you come out 1st and 10, then you have to get ready for your second down play call. You don't know if you're going to be in 2nd or 8 or 2nd and 2. So now you have to get that play call ready. Your personnel, staffers that, get the personnel out onto the field. So that would be your positional coaches and your assistants. All those guys have to be in check when you do the move the ball period. So I loved the fact that he is, using these periods of practice to get everybody lined up and ready to go for the regular season, not just the players, but coaches alike. There were a ton of Jets legends in attendance today, and I thought AG had a really good explanation of why they were here, why he had all these guys out. I think it was half a dozen, including guys like Kevin Mawai, Jason Fabini. So tons of great Jets over the past, couple decades. He said they've been here. They know what it's like to be a Jet. And now we're teaching our guys what it is to be a Jet. He goes on to talk about how he started his career with the Jets. They were 1-15 and then 2-14. Bill comes in and they start going 9-7, and then they're rolling all of a sudden. He even mentioned the Vinny Testaverde and Tom Tupa story, where Vinny went out and Tupa came in as, the last hope, and he was throwing dimes all over the field. So basically the moral of his story was that injuries are going to happen. Guys need to understand injuries need to happen, but we're at the point where you just got to put the damn ball down and go play. And to me, that's the perfect answer from AG. That's exactly what I want to hear from my head coach. Just put the damn ball down and go play football. I don't care if it's your second string cornerback throwing the ball. Like, somebody's got to go do it, right? And it's a no excuses mentality, and dealing with injuries at this point in camp is something you're going to have to get through. You can't be bubble wrapped and then get smacked by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the mouth and not be expecting it. And now you have guys on the shelf after week 1. Get these guys, hitting each other early, and hopefully they're calloused, as AG said. And then the last quote here I liked from him was about the secondary as a whole. He mentioned Brandon Stevens being one of the most improved players throughout the entire training camp period, which we love to see because we were all very questionable about the signing and still are very questionable, most of us, about the signing. So love that he was, considered most improved in this unit. He said Sauce will always do well, and that's basically the expectation, is that his standard is going to be consistently the standard for him every day and every week of the regular season. He said Cisco's doing a great job of getting his hands on a lot of passes, even some passes that he really shouldn't be getting his hands on, whether that's a bad throw or bad read by the quarterback or just him making an exceptional play. So he loved Cisco being the ball hawker, taking away the ball. He said Tony Adams is doing a good job handling all the movement in the back end, getting everybody lined up, communicating. So I actually like that from Tony Adams. If that is what he brings to this team, that's great. I think last year you saw Michael Carter II and CJ Mosley go down, and then it was a Jamie Sherwood learning on the fly, having to be the communicator, and perhaps it was Tony Adams on the back end getting everybody lined up back there. So if that is what Tony Adams brings to the table, I'm okay with it. Does that mean I think he should still be a starter? Probably not, but if that's what the coaching staff sees, then I have to go with that for now. He then mentioned Michael Carter II is doing a great job at nickel and that he's a great tackler. And then he even said the backups are doing well. So a position of strength for the Jets is showing out in camp as a strength, and it seems like that's going to continue moving forward. So a lot to like from the AG presser, not a lot to like from the Jets passing offense today, specifically Justin Fields. I really want to get off this roller coaster with him. I want to just see some type of incremental growth. It doesn't have to be linear growth, but having a bad practice, then having a good practice, then having a very bad practice to a solid practice, it's very difficult to follow. And although I don't want to read too much into it, it is a bit concerning that 3 days in a row, the stats and what we're seeing from the beat reporters' secondhand view of this thing, it's not looking good for Fields so far. So not ready to hit the panic button on number 7 yet. I'm not saying put Tyrod Taylor in. He's already dealing with a knee injury that happened when he can't be hit in training camp. So you already have to be concerned about that. Not saying we got to go rush to sign a quarterback, trade a quarterback, but take all this in stride, Jets fans. It's only 3 days of practice. Hopefully we start trending back upwards with Fields in the passing offense. Hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. Just got to get the watch hours up to get me monetized, and then we'll be able to do exclusive membership videos in terms of, film breakdowns, the longer film breakdowns especially. We can do super chats, so that'll be a great way to get everybody involved in the community. And I'm working on getting T-shirts out there, DT merch. You see the logo up in the corner. I'm wearing the hoodie right now. I have a couple T-shirts being printed up, I believe, as we speak. So hopefully I'll have the physical T-shirts in a couple weeks, maybe a couple days even. So stay tuned for all that. I'll have more info on my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at DTereman, Instagram and Discord as well at DTereman. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And until next time, let's go Jets.